Do you want to learn spoken English without a partner? Do you want to learn spoken English without going an academy? So you are at the right place. Most of the students, they say that we cannot go to an academy or we cannot attend classes. And there are some students, they are saying that we cannot have any partner, we do not have any person to practice with him. So no need to worry about those things. Here I'll be giving you some tips which can help you to speak English fluently without any partner and without going any academy. Well, you may not be alone forever, but right now you need to practice English alone. How can you practice speaking English without anybody else to help you? Writing, reading, listening, these skills can all be practiced alone. Well, you can already write beautiful sentences, you memorize hundreds of vocabulary words, but when you open your mouth to speak, nothing comes out. All the books, websites, and apps and the world can't help you to learn to speak English fluently. To improve your spoken English, the best thing to do is to talk with a native speaker. Sometimes we do not have that option though. What if you don't know anyone who speaks English? What if you don't have time? What if you simply don't feel confident enough yet to practice with a native? Don't worry, you can still improve your spoken English even without a speaking partner. We're going to explain how. No speaking partner, no problem. No academy, no problem. So the first tip here is to think in English. Try to think only in English. You can do this thing everywhere, anytime. Try to use English when you are thinking about your day and when you decide what food to order. Sometimes the difficult thing about talking in a new language isn't the language itself, but how you think about it. If you think in your native language and then try to speak English, you will always have to translate between languages. Translating isn't an easy thing to do. Even people fluent in 2 or more languages have troubles switching between languages. So as I have given you the solution, try to think only in English. You can do this thing everywhere, anytime. So I think this thing would be helpful for you. Like the next one tip that we have, talk to yourself. Whenever you are at home or alone somewhere else, you can practice your English with your favorite person, and that is yourself. If you are already thinking in English, try speaking your thoughts out loud. Read out loud too. Practice is practice, and even when you do not have anyone to correct your mistake, just the act of speaking out loud will help you become more comfortable speaking English. So I would simply suggest you to speak out loud your thoughts. Whatever comes on your mind, you have to speak out loud, and most of the time you have to talk to yourself. Like in our native language, most of the time we do talking with ourselves, like sometimes some problems we are discussing or some anything we are discussing with ourselves. So try to do that thing in English instead your native language. The next tip that I have to discuss here, use a mirror. It is also helpful for presentation. Like I was making a video, and that video I have already talked about use a mirror. So here I would also talk about it. Whenever you can, take a few minutes out of your day to stand in front of the mirror and to speak. Choose a topic, set a timer for 2 or 3 minutes and just talk. The point of the exercise is to watch your mouth, face, and body language as you speak. It also makes you feel like you are talking to someone, so you can pretend you are having a discussion with a steady buddy. Talk for the full 2 or 3 minutes. Don't stop. If you get stuck on a word you don't know, try to expressing your idea in different way. You can always look up how to say they were after the 2-3 minutes, and this will definitely help you find out what kinds of words or sentences you have trouble with. The next step is I would like to tell you some things that I do not want to prolong the video, that most of the people then they skip the video. They think that this person has met only for like this or something like that. So I do not want to speak a lot on any tip. So I would take around about 30 seconds or 35 seconds on each tip, and that would be helpful for you to do practically those things. So the next one that we have, focus on fluency, not grammar. When you speak in English, how often do you stop? The more you stop, the less confident you sound and the less comfortable you become. Try the mirror exercise above, but challenge yourself to speak without stopping or stammering, taking pauses between your words the entire time. And this might mean that your sentences won't be grammatically perfect, and that is okay. If you focus on speaking fluently instead of accurately or correctly, you will still be understood and you will sound better. You can fill in the correct grammar and word rules as you learn them better. So first learn the fluency, how accurately and briskly you speak, and focus should be on fluency rather than grammar. With the passage of time, you can improve, you can build up, you can brush upon your grammar, and that is not a big deal. That is not a hard task. You can achieve that with the practice. But the most important thing for your spoken English to focus on your fluency. The next step that we have, listen and repeat. Do you watch TV shows or YouTube videos or on Facebook or English movies in English? Use them to improve your fluency. Choose a short part of a show or a movie or a news or any video that you watch and repeat it line by line. Try to match the tone, speed, and even the accent if you can. It doesn't matter if you miss a few words. The important thing is to keep talking. Try to sound just like the native speaker on the show. So it would help you to improve your spoken English as well, but along with it can enhance your accent, pronunciation of the words, and try to focus on their mouth, how they make their mouth and how they produce the sound. So that would be helping you in accent and spoken English. Well, the next step that we have, learn phrases, not words. We have been listening from instructor and teachers. They do not learn individual words, do not memorize individual words. Instead of them, you can learn phrases that can be in your long-term memory forever, and you can practice them in your spoken. So I would simply tell you that most of the people they do learn vocabulary, but after some time they forget them. So my suggestion is for you to learn phrases, not to individual words that you can forget after some time. Even better idea is to learn word phrases, not just words. You might be using correct grammar and vocabulary, but it's still not how a native speaker would say it. For example, you can say, how are you today? But a native speaker might say, how are you doing? Or what's up? Or what you doing? So these kind of phrases, they can use this kind of expression they use for in their daily spoken and their daily conversation. So my suggestion is for you to learn phrases, use them in your spoken, even in writing, so they can help you to be memorized for long. The next step that we have is relax. You can be your best helper or your worst enemy when learning to speak fluently. We know it's hard, but you should try not to worry about how you sound when you speak. Just relax. If you get stuck or confused, just take a big breath or start over. Speak slower if you have to. Take time to pause and think about your next sentence. Do whatever it takes to become more comfortable with speaking English. So it was another tip that do not worry while speaking. You get stuck, start over, be cool, or get slow if requires. Another tip that we have is tell a story from your language in English. Select a story that you know better in your language and start speaking there in English, then how much you have developed your English. Like remember to think in English as you are telling your story. Focus on speaking fluently instead of correctly. Say every sentence out loud to yourself. Even if you have nobody to talk in English, you can still build confidence and master fluency on your own time. So mean like you really want to improve your spoken, so for that you need to build up a story. Like a story can be any kind of story that can be. Like for example, you are telling the story that belongs to your past, like when you were a child. So from that time you can build or develop a story, and then I would simply say that tell a story that you have in your mind, and you can speak on that in your own native language. So that would be much better for you to speak on in English. So there are some more points, some more tips, but I think they would be enough. I would just tell you, they sing along to English songs. That is also a good point for you. And learn word forms with new words, and learn your most common sayings. Prepare for specific situation. This is a bit important. For example, are you learning English for a specific reason? For example, are you learning English so you can get a job in an English speaking company? In this case, practice English that help you in an interview. Are you learning English so you can make friends in America? Then you would need a different kind of English. Before you go to a place where you have to speak English, you can practice what you might have to say. If you are preparing to go to a restaurant, what might conversation in a restaurant sound like? Answer the questions. Waiter might ask you, try talking about food and menus. You will feel more confident if you are prepared. So I hope my tips would help you in learning English. So if you have questions, you can ask me in comment box. Thank you for watching this video.